Hello everyone and welcome to Sewing Saturdays. My name is Gina and today I'm going to be showing you how to do this lunch bag. It's really good to do with fat quarters. All you need is one fat quarter for your lining, one for the outside, and you can use one for all the other extra pieces that we're going to need that we were going to attach here and there. So it's a very easy lunch bag to do, and it's a simple way of making a lunch bag really fast. So if you have children or and depending what fabrics you use, can be for anyone. Okay, so let's get started on the materials. So what I did is I cut 2 pieces of fabric. I mentioned fat quarters because the sizes that I'm using here, I cut 15 this way and 21 that way. And I did 2 colors, so one for your top, one for your bottom. And in between my layers here, I use In So Bright. And this is really good for lunch bags, oven mittens. It just keeps the heat a little bit better, colder or hot. So that's the only thing I used in the middle. You can use other things if you choose to. So what I did, I put them together. I used a little bit of 505. It's temporary glue, and I spray my layers. I put one on top of each other with the wrong sides together, and with my In So Bright in between. I made lines, okay, and I went ahead already and I quilted. So I did a couple lines. To make it easier quilting it, I use a walking foot, okay, so it just makes it easier. It's easier to use. After you've done the quilting, what are you going to do? You're going to trim it a little bit around, okay, the edges, because when you're quilting, things move a little bit, and you definitely need to trim it. I trim all the other sides already. The only side that I didn't trim was this one here, okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and trim it. So I'm just going to trim slightly a little bit. So your 15 by 21 is going to end up a little bit less. I would say about 14 by 20 by the time you trim all your edges. Okay, so you're going to make sure you trim it and make it all straight. So I'm going to go ahead and trim just this piece here. So I have all my edges done. Okay. And as I mentioned, you're probably going to end up to about 20 by, I have 20 and a half by 14 and a half. But if you trim a little bit more, if it's thing and ends up 20 by 14, it's fine too. It doesn't really matter. So now what we're going to do is, I want to add a pocket on this. So what are we going to be needing? We're going to be needing some mesh. I'm going to be using mesh, and I'm just going to grab a piece of mesh. So I'm going to be using for my pocket a piece of mesh. And this I cut it also 15 by 4, so 15 by 4. And then we can trim it later on. It's no big deal. If you cut all the pieces that way, then you can always keep trimming. We're going to need a strap, and I used a piece of this piece of trimming for my strap. I would cut about 22 by, well, this is 1-inch strap. All right, so I'm going to use that for my strap. And just to make it as a detail, what I did is I got a piece of my fabric, and I cut 3 inches by about 23, 24. It doesn't matter, we can trim it later. And so I fold in the middle, all right, and then you fold it Then you fold it there and there, and now your strap is gonna go on top like that, and we're gonna be sewing here and here. Okay, that's to make your strap like that. Okay, and I'm just gonna go a pin here, because that's, I'm gonna go ahead and sew this like this, and that's to make my my strap, my little handle for my bag. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that, it's ready to sew. Then our pocket, since we had the mesh, we're gonna be using some bias. So what I did here, I cut 2 pieces the same size as my mesh. So I did 2.5 by 15, one for each side. I fold it to the middle, fold it and fold it like that, and I'm gonna go ahead, put this in the middle like that. I'm gonna fold that on top, and I'm also gonna be sewing that there. So I'm gonna put that there and there. Need to move it a little bit. And we're gonna do the same to the bottom. Okay? Exactly the same to the bottom. I'm gonna take that to the sewing machine and sew it there, really close to the edge. We're gonna do the same here to the bottom. Okay, and that's ready to sew. I'm gonna put it there. So now we're gonna add our zipper. I'm gonna be using zippers by the yard, but if you don't have those, this is a 4.5, as you see, slightly bigger. It's a more of a heavy duty zipper. If you don't have that, you can use a regular zipper. Just use about a 24 inches zipper, because you're gonna need to open it to fix the tops a little bit. So get a fairly big zipper. Okay, if not, if you're using one of these, I'm just doing slightly bigger than my 15, because I'm gonna need to attach the little slider. Okay, so, and then we're gonna prepare this part here for the zipper. So what I'm gonna do on this one, I'm gonna do the zipper slightly different. I'm actually gonna put my zipper to the wrong side. And what I want to do, I want to attach, see, I want to have like that detail that we have here on this one, right? So my zipper has to be sewed like this. So I'm going to put my zipper here on the wrong side of my fabric, side up. And I did 2.5 inches. You can do bigger if you want more of a bigger detail. If you want this to be wider, you can definitely do bigger. I did here 2.5, and then I fold it in half and iron it. So then I'm gonna get that piece, and I'm gonna put it on top. If it's easier for you, you can go ahead and secure your zipper first to this fabric, and then you get your piece of fabric, your strip, that's the same size, should at least be 15 by 2.5. You're gonna fold it in half, and you're gonna put it on top here, and you're just gonna pin it, and you're gonna take to the sewing machine and sew it. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna go to the sewing machine and do that, sew these on, and my strap, and prepare my strap, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. As you see, the zipper was sewed side up on the wrong side with a 2-inch strip on top. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn it to this side, and we're gonna fold that there like that, and it's adding hard detail. We're just gonna put some pins, because now we need to do a top stitch across. Okay, so you're gonna fold this down all the way down like that, and we're going to be doing a top stitch. I'm going to be doing a top stitch here, one there, but if you just want to do one, it's okay. But I'm going to be doing two. I'm actually going to, because I want that to be really secure. I don't want any chance of that. And as you see, my pieces are slightly bigger. It's okay. Afterwards we trim it. It's no big deal. Sometimes it's better that way. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so I'm going to put it back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my zipper. See, wrong side, right side, so it would be wrong side of the zipper with the wrong side of your bag. And you're going to put that there. You're going to get your two piece again. You're going to put on top there. And you're going to go ahead and sew that in place. Okay. After you sew that, and this is where I tell you that it's good to have a zipper that's fairly long, because we're going to need to open that too when we do the top stitch here, that we can have that zipper open and we can do our top stitch. That's why it's really good to have a really big zipper. In my case, mine is one of those by the yard. I'm going to open it, but that's what you're going to do. So you're going to sew that first here. As soon as you've done that, you're going to turn that to this side, and you're going to do the same thing that we just did here. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare that, and I'll be right back. So I've attached my my pieces down. If you I sewed them all down. Need to trim a couple things here. Okay. So now from one side of this here, you're gonna get a ruler, because we need to attach a pocket. So I'm gonna do about 5 inches from the zipper down. So 5 inches from the top of my zipper, and I'm gonna do a line. Okay, and I'm using a pen that irons off with the iron. So then I'm gonna get my pocket, and my pocket is gonna go from there down. So I'm gonna put it in place. So that will be my lining there. Oop. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a seam here. Okay, try to go with the same colored thread, especially in the back, because you really don't want to see it, but that's the only way we can attach the pocket, or you can leave it without the pocket. All right, so gonna go ahead and sew that. You can always check. Sometimes when I attach the pocket, what I do, I bring my piece down and I check, because I'm gonna need about, my fold here should be about 3.5. So from the zipper, about 3.5. Because I need to do corners here, and I need to make sure that I'm going to be missing my pocket, so that's not going to be inside of my pocket. So that's why normally sometimes I'll go here and I'll check it. If I need to do, in this case, I need about 3.5, and from the zipper, and I think this side need to go a little bit more. That's 3.5, and I think my pocket is slightly high, so I'm gonna move it slightly down, just about 1/2 inch from my 5 inches. All right, so when you do yours, just do 5.5. right? So I'm gonna go ahead and sew this pocket, and I'll be right back and show you the next step. Okay, so I'm back, put my pocket on, and I also went ahead and I did a couple stitches here, a little bit here and a little bit here, just to keep the pocket not too, when the bag is like that, so your pocket is not like extremely open, you know. If you don't like seeing the stitching in the back, because it's going to be showing a little bit stitching here, you can always do it by hand and just try to catch just the outside, the inside fabric, so you don't see it in the back. All right, so our pocket is done. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna add my zipper pull in here. And so I need to make sure those are even. My fabrics are even, going like that. All right. Okay. I'm gonna pull a light through because I want this to be in the middle. And I'm gonna do this again. I'm gonna bring that to the middle. So I'm gonna fold this now like this, and I'm gonna make sure that this is about in here, this fold here from here to here. About 3 1/4 from my fabric, or from the zipper, from the middle of the zipper, 3 1/2. So I'm gonna a bit more, adjust. So this side a little bit. And I think we're good. So I'm gonna put some pins here. And now I'm gonna trim all this extra stuff. I'm gonna make sure everything is slightly even. And I'm gonna go ahead and trim everything off. It's good to have a really sharp blade. Mine needs to be changed. Okay, I'm gonna do the same to this side. I think we're good. All right. So now what I need you to do is we're gonna mark our seam allowance. We're gonna go here, and I'm gonna mark a 1/2 inch line here. Right, and a 1/2 inch on this side. Okay, then here from this seam allowance that I did there, I'm gonna mark a little square about 1 1/4 and 1 1/4 up from my edge of my fabric, and up 1 1/4 and 1 1/4 from the line that I just made. Okay, so you're gonna mark that there. Gonna do the same to this side. So I need 1 1/4 and 1 1/4. And then here, from the line here, I'm gonna do 1.5. From the line in, 1.5, from the bottom up a line and a half. So 1.5 from my line and 1.5 from my bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut these off. Okay, so now since we have these like that, I'm gonna put a pin here in the bottom and a pin here in the bottom, and I'm gonna open this part there, the top, and this is where I'm gonna attach my strap. Okay, so here I'm gonna cut a little bit so I can mark my middle like that. Also here, that's my middle. Also I'm gonna do that in the bottom so I know where my middle is. Okay, so our strap is gonna go here. This is where you decide how long you want your strap. So the middle of your strap with the middle of that little clip that we just did, we're gonna put a pin. Let me see. I think that's big enough. So I'm gonna trim a little bit off of my strap. And I'm gonna find the middle, my strap with the middle of my square, put a pin. Okay, so now you can take these pins off for now because we're gonna need to sew these in. So you're gonna go to the sewing machine, your sewing machine, and we're gonna secure this here. I'm gonna be using some hardware afterwards to secure it down here again, but if you're not, measure about 2 inches in and do another seam. All right, so about 2 inches in, you do another seam here to the strap there, and another 2 inches in from here there, and you do another seam. Okay, so you're stopping up like that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna secure it. So it's sewed. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna bring our whole bag to the wrong side. All of it. Okay. Make sure you don't have any threads that don't belong there. Okay, so you're gonna bring these two edges together where the square is. You're gonna be sewing a seam, so you're 1/2 inch seam. Right, and also this side the same thing. Then you're gonna get some, it's a strip that I had was 2.5. Okay, it was 2.5 by 2.5, was 2.5 strip, and we need to sew these in to finish our edges. So I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna open that 2.5 strip in half, and I'm gonna sew that in. like that. Okay, then I'm gonna fold. After it's sewed in, I'm gonna bring this to the other side. It's pinned right now, so it's harder to bring it to the other side. But after you sew it, you bring it to the other side and you're gonna do a seam there just to finish that edge. Right, I'm gonna do that quickly. So there and there. Did both sides. So now we need to finish our corners. So we're gonna go here. As you see, this is why I moved the pocket down. You see there, because I need a space to sew my corner. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna bring, so when you're done this part here, we're gonna do the corners. I already did all my corners. I'm just left one here to show you. So you're gonna fold your corner, you know where we marked that little clip, to the middle of that, and you're gonna make sure they both folded to one side. Okay, and you're gonna get your piece that you had 2.5 folded. You're gonna sew it there, and then you're gonna fold all of that to that side like that, and fold like that. Make sure it's neatly folded and fold it again like that. Then you're gonna do another seam on top. Okay, gonna fix this side also. See if you can see. Make sure it's folded properly, and you're gonna go doing a seam there. I'm gonna finish that after, so I don't wanna make this video a lot any longer. So I'm just gonna turn it down to the right side so you see what it looks like. Just trim any threads you have, and these lines you can take it to the iron and iron it off. So I'm just gonna go here and open my zipper. I'm gonna be careful because I still have pins here. I'm gonna move it to this side. Our bag is done. Okay, so all in there. Just a couple things need to be trimmed. I'm gonna put rivets on my bag here, on my strap. Remember that I told you to sew 2 inches in, so you would have ended up with a strap there. I didn't do mine because I'm gonna put the rivets. So I'm just gonna put a pin here. That's where if you sew, that's where that would end up at. Okay. Fix your pieces. Gonna close it. You have your pocket in there. Put a couple of things if you need to. And your bag is done. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my little tag here. I'm gonna use 2 rivets and put the one of a kind little tag there, and your bag is all done. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you would like to send us pictures, you can always go to our Facebook page and upload pictures there. And I hope we'll see you next week. Happy sewing, everyone.